Hi guys, my name is Melanie and I just wanted to make this video for you guys regarding being pregnant and going to Disney World. We went to Disney World last year in June, and I was 6 months pregnant with our third child. When we start planning our trip to Disney World, of course, we didn't know that we were expecting, nor were we trying. So when we found out, it was an unexpected surprise, but we thought about maybe not going, but then I was like, I can't miss Disney World. And I kind of started to look at some blogs and some YouTube videos, but there really wasn't that many out there concerning being pregnant and going to Disney World. I think I found one that I actually watched. So I thought I would make this and we'll see how this goes. Okay, so we went in June, the end of May. Last week of May, I guess it was, and it was during Star Wars weekend. So of course Florida in May is hot and kind of busy, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. I heard a lot of people, the blogs that I did read, were talking about, people said, oh, I would never go when I was pregnant, and I would never do Disney, until my child was such and such age. And at first, I really got scared because I've never really had major problems with my having children, but having this much stress as far as all the walking, because I do always have problems with my sciatic nerve, and that was what I was more concerned about, was like my sciatic nerve. And I did start swelling really bad the week before we went to Disney, and so I was kind of scared that that would play in. I did talk to my doctor before we went, and she said it was okay. Just make sure that I drink plenty of fluids and I rested as much as possible. And of course, I did find on some of the web pages, some of the blogs, they do have a list of rides that are safe for pregnant women, and really it didn't disclude it really didn't take away much. I still had a great time. Of course, it did take away the roller coasters, which is okay, but I still got to do all the major rides that that anyone would want to go on. One thing that I did not care for was that I had a hard time with, was in the buses. Of course, it was hot, and so standing out in the bus line is not the best of thing to do, even when you're not pregnant. But then when you get on the bus, and if you guys go to Disney a lot, you do know that the buses get crowded, and they get crowded pretty quickly if you're at the parks very late, or if you're at the parks during a busy time when everyone's trying to leave to go, transfer parks or go back to the hotel. Now, my problem with the buses was that, yes, they did fill up, and there were so many inconsiderate people that, I had a shirt on that said, I think it said like baby boy, or I can't remember what it said, but anyways, it was very much a pregnancy shirt and a maternity shirt. And there was times I'd have to stand up, and my husband would just look at me and be like, are you okay? Are you fine? And you know how it is to balance yourself on the bus and stuff. And that was one thing I did have a problem with, and that's just because people were inconsiderate. So please, if you ever go to Disney and you do see someone who's pregnant, please offer your seat. That's just common sense. That should just be common courtesy. So, a little bit about our trip. We stayed on property. We stayed at Pop Century. We stayed, I believe it was Sunday through Sunday, so we stayed 7 days. And we went with my family, my mom, my dad, my brother and his wife, and their little girl. And our 2 older children also went with us, and at the time they were 6 and 7. And Disney's always our favorite. Our wedding was Disney. We're just a huge Disney family. We have places in our house that are Disney. So, it's just something that we like to do as a family. And so we try to go every 2 years. Like I said, this pregnancy was a little unexpected, a good surprise, but unexpected. Staying on property is never not an option for us. It is always something that we will do. So being pregnant, it was so nice to be able to go back to the hotel, and timely manner for the most part. But to be able to go back and still, have time to rest and be able to go back to the parks later that evening. So that would be like my number one tip, would be to go to the parks early in the morning like we did. We usually had a breakfast reservation, and then after the breakfast reservation, then we met up at the park, did our fast passes, and then we would go back to the room. I would lay down, take a nap. The boys would swim, or I'd go swim, or we'd, go shopping a little bit. And then we would go back to the parks later that evening, usually after dinner. Or we would have dinner in the park, go to the park, have dinner in the park, and then have the rest of the night and stay until closing. That was probably the best because of the heat. We were able to stay longer. We were able to just walk onto rides. It was really an enjoyable experience to be able to just split up our day like we did. Another suggestion that I have is drink plenty of water. Of course, that's what my doctor said to do. What I would do is I would take I bought packets of Gatorade, and I also got some of those little Mio bottles, which is the little water enhancers that have like electrolytes and that kind of thing in it. And I would go to the concession stands, the food stands, and I would just get a cup of ice, and I would bring in bottled water. And you can also get bottled water there, or you can get water free out of the most I can't think of what they're called, soda fountains. And I would put my Mio or my Gatorade into either my water bottle, if I brought my water bottle that day, or into the cup that I got at the concession stand. So that was nice, because I always had a cold drink, and it didn't cost me hardly anything because I brought my own drinks in, my own flavoring in, and you can get water free, or you can bring your own bottled water in and do that as well. And that way I didn't have to worry about keeping water cold until I needed it. I just got ice, and mine was cold. Another thing I did, I brought snacks. What we did is purchased some big bags of trail mix and peanut butter and crackers, and I'm trying to think what else we had. Beef jerky sticks, and we had all kinds of snacks, and that I could even take and put in smaller size bags, and then we'd put them in our backpack. That way we didn't have to we had the food program, the dining plan, so we were able to get snacks that way as well, but we were able to also have our own snacks whenever we needed it. One thing that I did not take with me, and I wish I would have, is an umbrella. An umbrella would have been amazing, because not for the rain but for the sun. So if you're waiting on a ride and you don't want to walk too far, or you're not feeling very good, then you could just find a seat anywhere and have your umbrella for shade. So that was one thing that I wish I did bring. They were redoing, and they still are, Disney Springs at the time, or turning it into Disney Springs. So the bus systems where you were picked up for the buses was horrible, and we were in direct sunlight at 12 o'clock during the day, and I almost passed out at Disney Springs. But that was not necessarily their fault. It was my fault for deciding to go to Disney Springs and at that time of day. Now the buses it did take 45 minutes for a bus to get to us, so it's just how Disney's bus transportation works. Sometimes it's either awesome and you're able to get to your spot, or it's packed and it takes forever, it feels like. So that was just one thing I wish I would have brought, was an umbrella. Another thing that I did bring was a little battery operated fan, just one of the little handheld ones you can usually get for like $2 or $3 at Walmart. My kids had the ones with the water bottles attached to it, those were awesome too. I just don't like having all that extra water that could leak out into my backpack. But you can always, fill it when you need it and dump it and that kind of thing. But I just had the little battery operated one, and it was nice because we were waiting for The Lion King, and of course you have to get there early enough to get in, and so we waited about an hour for the show, and so I ended up having to sit down on the ground because everyone else was doing it in order to wait for the show. So I just popped up my fan, and I was actually pretty comfortable, so that was also nice. sunscreen, of course, just your common stuff you would take to Disney. Make sure you take Tylenol. I would also make sure that you take Pepto-Bismol and Dramamine. Dramamine is safe, but I hardly took it, but I just had it just in case I did need it. I really didn't have sickness very much at that time, but that's there. I mean, you could also take ginger pills, the C the C bracelets or whatever they're called. You could do that as well. I would also, the hat definitely, because you just want to keep as much sun out of your face. And make sure you have good shoes, because that is a huge thing. I mean, you're walking every single place in Disney World, so good shoes was, although I like wearing flip-flops, and I did wear flip-flops like when we would go out to dinner and that kind of thing with my dresses, but I, for the most part, wore tennis shoes. I do have some hiking sandals that I was able to wear, but I was swelling a lot, and so I just wanted to make sure that I had good support, so most of the time I did wear my gym shoes. Another thing was, I did have all my doctor's information. They even gave me a copy of my file just in case I was to get sick, that I would have a copy of my file with me to take to the emergency room so they can know how to treat me. I do have some health issues when it comes to like anemia and stomach issues and that kind of thing, so it was nice to be able to have that on file to say, that we could just take it straight with us to the hospital. Our doctor also gave us her phone number just in case I did need to contact her immediately. But as far as, I took my own pillow. That was another thing I did. We flew, but my parents drove, so we were able to pack their car with our stuff. So we flew through Detroit, which is a huge airport, and we tried to pack as least amount with us as possible, as far as carry-ons. So everything went with my parents, and we took our own pillows. I even took my own blanket, and just so I could, be comfortable in the bed, and it was worth it. I would also probably take a fan if you're able to, and you may even be able to rent them at some places. Some places have things where you can rent like kitchen equipment, like coffee makers and that kind of thing. So I would take, if you need a fan, like we usually sleep with a fan, and that was one thing we didn't bring, but we usually keep the room cold, but I like to have the air circulation, so I really wish we did bring a fan as well to circulate the air when we slept at night. I think that's about it. We had, really, it was one of the best trips that we've ever been on, or that I've been to Disney. One, because it was with my kids. My kids were actually older. It was the first year that we didn't have to take a stroller. And so we got to enjoy that, because the 2 years before we did have to take a stroller. So we're back in the stroller game now after our son was born. And it was also, I got to spend it with my family, and it was just a really nice break from reality for a while. And I would totally, if there's plenty of cooling stations, there's restaurants you can go into and sit, quick service places, there are stores you can go in. Also, a lot of the queues are air conditioned. There's also a mother station that is located in each of the parks. So those are places that I would try to find to cool down if you get to that point. But like I said, it's Disney. Just if you plan in advance, if you just do your research, you're still going to be able to have a great time, even being pregnant. So I would say it depends on your the way you handle stress, the way your body handles exercise when you're pregnant. If you're the type of person who, your body doesn't handle much whenever you're pregnant and you're sick or you hurt all the time, you may want to rethink it. But if you're a person who can tolerate, walking, who, you're pretty healthy, pretty good shape, then I would say you would probably be fine going through Disney World, just making sure that you have everything prepared, have water, have snacks, Tylenol, rest as much as possible, and enjoy your time, because it is a special time. We we laugh because my son is 11 months old now, and he loves his Mickey Mouse. He is just, middle name is Elias, which is Walt's middle name, but we always joke the week we were at Disney World was the week that they're supposed to be able to hear in the womb, and so I always say, well, that was the best thing for him to be able to hear, and now 11 months later, Disney music is like his all time. It's what he goes to sleep to. It's what he smiles at. It's what he, Mickey Mouse is what he loves to watch. So we always, we think it's just such a cute little correlation between him and our trip to Disney World. So I hope you guys like this. If you guys have any questions about being pregnant going to Disney World that I didn't cover that I may be able to help you with, then just leave it in the comments below. And I hope this video helps you, and have a great day. Bye.